Ever wonder what happens the day a good man stops giving everything away and finally puts himself first? That exact moment flips his whole life upside down, and I'm gonna break it down for you, step by step, so you feel the fire. I'm not talking about turning cold or selfish. I'm talking about the instant he realizes he's been neglecting the one person he's abandoned the longest, himself. And that ain't fair. Every man hits a breaking point, a moment when something inside him has to wake up. Not from anger, but from raw truth. For years, most men have built their whole identity around being needed, being the provider, the rock, the absorber of all chaos so everyone else can breathe easy. Again, not fair. It's repeated over and over. A good man carries everything alone, shouldering his kids, partner, parents, job, and responsibilities. He does it quietly, never complaining, never asking for praise or help. Just keeps giving, providing, leading. That's exactly why he snaps. Because you can only pour from an empty cup for so long before life forces you to face the emptiness. For some men, the wake-up call is betrayal. For others, it's divorce, financial collapse, a health scare, or a moment when everything they thought they stood on disappears. I've talked to many clients on Zoom calls, crying because they've lost everything except their own heartbeat. The hardest hit isn't the loss itself, but the realization they've never invested in themselves. Then the question shifts from, what do I need to do for everyone else, to, what do I need to do for me now? That's the moment a man's life moves from survival to leadership. He starts investing in his health instead of waiting till he's falling apart, builds discipline instead of excuses, chooses a mission over a paycheck, and consumes better information instead of numbing noise. His priorities, posture, and energy all change because he's waking up. He learns that if his happiness depends on anyone else, he's fragile. If that woman leaves, if that job collapses, if people stop needing him, his whole identity vanishes. That's why most men are exhausted, not because they're weak, but because they've built lives on dependency instead of true identity. Any man can awaken to this reality. He never chased validation or lived for approval. He had a mission, purpose, and was grounded in himself. It took hardships to get there, and his way of living will force his woman to level up just by his presence. Men don't realize how powerful they become when they finally choose themselves. Their whole ecosystem shifts for the better. Focusing on his goals isn't pulling away, selfish, or rude. It's personal development, and he needs it desperately. He's pulling himself out of a version built on fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of disappointing everyone, fear of losing people by stopping overgiving. Again, not fair. A man who chooses himself doesn't lose people. He loses the wrong ones and attracts the right ones. He doesn't stay in a relationship out of fear of being alone. He stays because he chooses to be there. There's a difference between a man who needs a woman and a man who chooses one. One comes from insecurity, the other from identity. When a man creates his own peace, discipline, and self-worth, the love he brings is steady, intentional, and rooted. Not because he fears loss, but because he finally knows exactly who he is without them. Men everywhere will say, "I've been married 20 years, and this is the first time I've done something for me." It's a triumph because they're finally waking up and reclaiming their power. The ripple effect is insane. They parent better, lead better, communicate better, show up differently in marriage, not out of obligation, but from the identity they're building. When a man knows his worth, he becomes dangerous in the best way. Rooted, intentional, disciplined. So if you're a man listening, hear me clearly. The world changes the day you change. Not when she changes, not when your parents change, not when circumstances change. The day you stop giving everything away and give something back to yourself is the day your entire life takes a brand new direction. Lean into that. Be dangerous. Be grounded. Build yourself first. That's when you become the man your family, your future, and your life truly need. Got thoughts on boosting your confidence and connections? Drop them below. Your input helps us create content that empowers you to own your spark. What do you want to see next? Share your ideas, and we might feature them in an upcoming video. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more tips to help you shine. Ready to level up? Check out the next video.